After what happened this past weekend, I'm convinced the world needs to know about this southern pie. Welcome to Heritage Ways, where we honor home, celebrate heritage, and spread hope. I'm Miss Katie, the mama of the group, and I'm so glad that you're here today to learn about this southern pie. Y'all, we are originally from Middle Tennessee. That's where we've lived over 50 years of our lives, me and Mr. Patient. My daddy is from Ohio, and so I call myself bi-regional, although I have never lived in Ohio. Well, this past weekend, we were at a church dinner, and I took the southern chess pie that I'm about to make for you. And not only did the fine folks and dear friends of mine at that church not know what chess pie was, some of them asked me to repeat it or even spell it, and they definitely, 3 people were clamoring over the last piece. So I didn't even know if it would be eaten. This is one of Mr. Patient's very favorite pies, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it while I'm whipping it together. But first, I'm going to beat up 3 country eggs. Now, these are from a friend of mine, and they have that deep golden yolk. So let me whip these up for a second. Okay, now, I just needed to get them all mixed up. So I'm going to go ahead, first off, and add the 2 cups of sugar. Now, we use organic cane sugar. This pie is similar to the texture of maybe a cheese pie or an old-fashioned pie from England. So our forefathers might have brought this over. It has been found in New England cookbooks and Virginia cookbooks. It's even found in Martha Washington's cookbook called Book of Cookery. Two cups of sugar, 3 eggs, and 2 cups of sugar. 1 level tablespoon of all-purpose flour. I use unbleached. I eyeball the levelness, but you need 1 level. And then you need, it's a southern pie, quintessential southern pie, you need a heaping tablespoon of cornmeal. This is not cornbread mix. This is plain cornmeal, yellow or white. Let's mix that up. Wow, this has a deep, deep color because of those wonderful yolks. Okay, now I need a cup of whole milk. This is raw milk. Then I'm going to add a half a stick of melted butter. And a teaspoon of homemade vanilla. Alright, I'm just going to whisk all this up together. I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven on. Now, this is a toaster oven because this is what I have today. But I'm going to turn my oven on 325. And it calls for an hour. So 325 for an hour, y'all. And it may need a little more time than an hour. You want it to be set. I was kind of concerned about the pie for last Sunday being set. I didn't want it to be runny, and it was very good, if I must say so myself. Okay, I'm going to show you what it looks like after it comes out of the oven, and we're going to taste it for you. And we're going to let you know what we think. This does make a pretty big, you know, it would It would be too much, I think, for a thin pie shell. I would recommend the deep dish. And this is one I have it ready. Just went ahead and hand floated it. It's nothing fancy or pretty necessarily. It's just rustic and homemade. The fluting is, but the crust itself is the rolled up refrigerated crust from the grocery store. Sometimes that works just fine. Just as well, just as good, maybe even better sometimes. Okay, see, that is ready. Alright, it's been a little bit over an hour. Our ovens all vary, so, you know, you just know that the original recipe says 325 for an hour. So I'm going to take this out. It's going to look like it's not done, but it's going to have to set and cool and set. It's going to fall a little bit. Some butter spilled in there, I think. This isn't an ideal oven, but I'm going to let it cool. I'm going to take it off the pan. And it's jiggling, but I can tell you this isn't an ideal thing to use either. You should use like a cake tester, or in the old days they would use a broom, what do you call it? A broom straw. So anyway, let's test right there where it's already, see, it comes out clean. So we're going to let it sit here. It's going to be so good, I'm sure, because it looks good, it smells good. You know, one way that I know when things are done, if I forget to put on a timer, or I just want to know from afar and I'm not near a timer, but when you start to smell the food that you're cooking, then you know it is near completion. And that rang true for me one time when we had the deaf congregation that was a part of our church years ago, and we had them over to our house several times for meals. And I signed to one of my friends, I said, how do you know when the pizza is done? And she said, well, they just smell it. Well, she didn't say. She signed that they smell it. And I've never forgotten that, because that's what I do too, and so it must work. But I was smelling this and I came over and checked it and it was done. So we're going to let this cool for quite some time, or maybe even completely, before we cut into it. And then I'm going to let you know what Mr. Patient thinks of tonight's dessert. Okay, friends, our supper's over. It's dark out here, so pardon the lighting. Mr. Patient, what do you think? You going to taste it?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's see what you think about it. All right, y'all are going to try it over here.
Definitely.
Okay, here we go. Let's see what y'all think. Do you like it?
Awesome.
Classic, good. Classic chess pie. Classic Southern chess pie.
It's great.
I want to encourage you guys today with this verse from the Bible. It's Proverbs 18:10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe.
Thanks for watching today, y'all. And just like some people have heard of chess pie and some have not, let's remember that everyone has a story, and everyone's story deserves to be heard. Let's listen to someone's story today and offer them grace. See y'all next time.